In the heart of Patan, a city steeped in history and culture, lies the Bhimsen Temple, a sacred structure dedicated to the deity of trade and commerce. The temple's intricate wood carvings and ancient architecture tell stories from centuries past, but one legend remains hidden in hushed whispers among the locals. This is a tale of an eerie encounter that occurred not too long ago, a story passed down by those who dare to visit the temple at night. It was a chilly evening in the winter of 2016 when Sushant, a young student from Kathmandu, decided to explore the historic sites of Patan. An avid photographer, Sushant was drawn to the old alleyways and courtyards of this ancient city. But on this particular evening, something drew him towards Bhimsen Temple, located near the bustling Mongol Bazaar. The sun had just dipped below the horizon, and the temple, usually filled with worshippers and tourists during the day, now stood eerily silent, its shadows lengthening under the dim streetlights. Sushant was setting up his camera to capture the temple's silhouette when he noticed something unusual. In the fading light, he saw a faint figure, a woman dressed in a traditional red sari standing near the temple's main entrance. Her back was turned to him, and her hair hung loosely, almost touching the ground. Initially, Sushant thought she was a devotee offering prayers, but something about her presence felt wrong. He called out to her, asking if she needed help, but she didn't respond. The air grew cold, a biting chill that cut through his jacket. Suddenly, a soft, haunting melody drifted through the air, as if someone were humming an old Nepali folk song. The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Sushant's heart raced, yet his curiosity got the better of him. He decided to approach the woman. As he moved closer, the humming grew louder, but the woman remained still. When he was just a few feet away, he noticed her feet. They weren't touching the ground. Panic gripped him, and as he tried to back away, the woman slowly turned her head. What Sushant saw next would haunt him forever. Her face was ghastly pale, her eyes were hollow, black voids, and her lips were curled into a twisted smile. Her mouth opened wide, wider than any human jaw could, revealing sharp teeth, stained with crimson. In that split second, the woman let out a bone-chilling scream. Sushant dropped his camera and stumbled backward, but his legs felt heavy, as if they were being held by unseen hands. Desperately, he whispered a prayer to Bhimsen, and just as he did, the woman's figure flickered like a dying flame and vanished into the darkness. The humming stopped and the air returned to its normal temperature. Terrified and shaken, Sushant ran back to the main square where he found a group of locals chatting near a tea stall. He breathlessly recounted his experience, expecting them to dismiss him, but instead their expressions turned grim. One of the older men nodded solemnly and said, "You've encountered the Aama Bhakari, the ghost of a woman who died under tragic circumstances. According to local law, decades ago, a woman was brutally murdered near the temple. She had been falsely accused of practicing witchcraft and was lynched by a mob. Since then, her restless spirit is said to haunt the temple grounds, especially during the winter months. People claim to hear her humming, see her shadow in the evenings, and feel an unnatural chill when passing by the temple at night. Those who are unfortunate enough to see her face up close are said to be cursed with nightmares and misfortune." The old man continued, "You're lucky to have survived, but beware, she often marks those she encounters." Sushant laughed it off, trying to dismiss it as just another ghost story. But over the following weeks, strange things began happening. His camera, retrieved the next morning, refused to work despite being in perfect condition. At night he would hear that same haunting melody in his dreams, followed by the woman's twisted smile. His health deteriorated, and he became withdrawn and paranoid, afraid to venture out after dark. Eventually he sought the help of a local priest, who performed a ritual to cleanse him of the spirit's curse. Although Sushant's nightmares gradually faded, he never fully recovered from the trauma of that night. He gave up photography and refused to return to Patan ever again. To this day, locals advise visitors not to linger around Bhimsen Temple after sundown. The city's ancient structures may be beautiful, but they hold secrets that are best left undisturbed. And if you ever hear a soft humming near an old temple in Patan, resist the urge to follow it, for it may lead you straight into the clutches of the Aama Bhakari, a spirit who is forever searching for peace in the most sinister ways. The story may sound like folklore, but for those who have experienced something similar in the shadowed alleys of Patan, it feels all too real. Would you dare visit Bhimsen Temple after dark?